Good morning to all of you. In this session, I am going to teach marginal costing. I am Dr. K. Pranita, working as Assistant Professor of Commerce in Government Degree College for Women, Golconda. All these days, we were learning each concept one by one. That is, we have learned about materials, we have learned about the labor, then next we have learned about the process costing, job costing, and now we will learn about the marginal costing. So what is a marginal costing? Marginal costing is an accounting technique, no doubt. It is not a system of costing such as process or a job costing. It is a technique which helps the management to measure the profitability of an undertaking by considering the underlying cost behavior. In other words, it is the technique which guides management in decision making and profitability. It is gradually gaining more and more importance in management theory. Why? Because management will be helped with the help of this marginal costing in taking various important decisions. This marginal costing is also known as direct costing or variable costing or differential costing. Actually, when we see this marginal costing, it ascertains marginal cost by differentiating between fixed and variable cost. It reveals the interrelationship between cost, volume, and profits. In marginal costing, suppose for example, if we see only variable costs are taken into account, these variable costs will change in direct relation to the change in the volume of production or change in the volume of production of one particular unit. As such, we can say variable costs are called as production cost and are charged to production account. Fixed costs are not allocated to cost unit. These fixed costs are charged directly to where? To profit and loss account during the period, and they are called as period cost or capacity cost. Now coming back to variable cost, they are very sensible in nature, that is, they are influenced by variety of factors. The main objective of marginal costing is to help the management in controlling variable cost, because this is an area of cost which lends itself to control by management. This is an important thing where they have to pay attention in controlling these different types of variable cost. Now, what are the features of marginal costing? The first is the first feature, that is, marginal costing is a technique of costing which is used in conjunction with other methods of costing like process or job costing. Only marginal cost, that is variable cost, are charged to the products. These include what? Direct materials, direct labor, direct expenses, as well as the variable overheads like variable factory overheads, variable selling and distribution overheads, etc. Fixed cost are treated as period cost and are directly charged to profit and loss account for the period for which they are incurred. So they are not at all charged to the products. Next main feature is that the finished goods and work in progress are valued at marginal cost. In marginal costing, prices are determined on the basis of marginal cost plus contribution. Contribution means what? Contribution is the difference between sales value and variable cost. The next feature is that profitability of departments and products is determined with reference to their contribution margin. The one more feature is that fixed costs remain constant irrespective of level of activity. Here we see cost, volume, profit, that is CVP relationship is fully employed to reveal the state of profitability at various levels of activity. It highlights the effect of cost on the level of output planned. Break-even point is the prime component of marginal costing technique. So all these are various features of marginal costing. Now, advantages of marginal costing. Now, what we have learned, this technique of marginal costing is of immense value to managerial decisions. In addition, it can be a significant tool for control of cost, profit planning, and selection of different types of product mix, etc. So we can say the following are the advantages of marginal costing. One by one we will see here. So these are the advantages. First one is simple to operate and easy to understand. Marginal costing, in other words, it is a very simple technique. Why? Because it is very simple to operate and easy to understand. It is constant in nature. Complications involved in allocation, apportionment and absorption of overheads are completely avoided here. Next advantage is that cost control. In marginal costing, costs are divided into fixed and variable cost. What are variable costs? They are always costs which are controllable. Thus here, greater control may be exercised over these costs. Further, effective control on fixed cost becomes more easy by treating them as a whole in the determination of the profit. Another advantage, the third one is helps management in decision making. This technique helps the management in taking various types of decisions. That is, it is useful in taking decisions like, for example, for fixation of prices, for making or buying any other product. Say for example, if you want to make the product in particular or manufacture the product in the organization or purchase them from outside, or introduction of new product line or selection of product mix, etc. So these types of decisions could be taken by the management by seeing this marginal costing. The next one is relationship of net income with sales. Actually, this marginal costing establishes direct relationship of net income with the sales. It provides a better and more logical basis for the fixation of sales prices with intending profits. Another advantage is treatment of overheads simplified. It reduces the degree of over and under recovery of overheads due to separation of fixed overheads from the production cost. Next advantage is helps in preparing flexible budget. Marginal costing facilitates the preparation of flexible budget by differentiating variable cost and fixed cost. It also helps in the evaluation of performance of responsible personnel. Next advantage, stock valuation. In marginal costing, inventory is valued at variable cost. Why? Because here fixed costs are not at all taken into consideration. Thus, unrealized or fictitious profits are not taken into account. Under this method, stock valuation will be uniform and realistic. Next one. Aid to profit planning. It provides data relating to cost, volume, profit relationship. This facilitates profit planning in future for the organization. It becomes easy for the management to decide various profit planning methods or schemes in future. Next one is helps in pricing. It is very useful in helping fixation of selling prices of the products under various conditions. That means it gives a better and more logical base for the fixation of sales price as well as in tendering for contracts when business is at a very low level. Next advantage, we see cost per unit constant. Why it is constant? Here already we have learned in marginal costing we are taking only variable cost into consideration. So, fixed cost which influence unit cost at different various levels of production are ignored here completely. That's why unit cost remains constant at various levels of production. No matter how many units you are producing, the variable cost per unit will be same. It will not change at all. So this is the main advantage of marginal costing. It helps to see how much will be the cost for 4,000 units, 5,000 units, 6,000 units. In that way, it is easy to calculate. Next one is that advantage helps to know managerial thinking. The form in which marginal cost information is presented and disseminated by the cost accountant closely conforms to the managerial thinking and philosophy. Usually, these cost accountants will prepare all these different types of information in such a way, and they are presented in such a way that what actually the management wants from them, what information they wants from them. So in this way, if we observe these presentations disseminated by the cost accountants, we will be able to know what is the main thinking of the management people and their philosophy, naturally. The second advantage is that profitability appraisal. Here, marginal costing helps the management in evaluating the profitability of alternative operations. That is, if we choose one more product, how much, that is the same type of products, how much will be the profit. It helps in this way to know how much we are going to gain in choosing a particular product. Next, complementary to standard costing. This is the last advantage. Marginal costing is complementary to standard costing and also the budgetary control. Actually, we can say that it can be used along with the standard costing to yield better results in taking decisions. These are the main advantages of marginal costing. Now, when we see the advantages are many are there, but some limitations are also there for this marginal costing techniques. What are these limitations? We will see one by one slowly. The first one is that practical difficulty in dividing the cost. Actually, this marginal costing, the whole concept is based on the classification of total cost into fixed and variable cost. So that differentiation or the classifying of these costs into two is very difficult task. That is separating them as fixed and then variable cost. In marginal costing, we also find that is actually in total cost of production there will be some semi-variable or semi-fixed cost which are all not taken into consideration at all. Here they are not taken. Simply the costs are divided into fixed and variable, but they are not considering semi-variable or semi-fixed cost, which are also important in the total cost of particular unit. The second limitation of that is that time factor is ignored. Marginal costing technique does not match much importance to time factor. If time taken for completing two different jobs is not the same, the cost will naturally be higher for the job which has been taking longer time, though marginal cost may be the same for both the jobs. This is actually if we are taking two types of jobs and we are evaluating their total cost, but one type of job will take much longer time, the other type of job will take a lesser time, but this time factor is not at all taken into consideration in this marginal costing method. So this is also one limitation to the marginal costing. Now, the third one is that improper basis of pricing. Here, in marginal costing, it gives impression that as long as the price is more than the marginal cost, production is profitable. But you see, it may result in overall losses. That is, in long run, price without covering total cost will not yield profit to the firm. Why? The organization which is following this marginal costing system, if they are not taking into consideration this fixed cost in taking various decisions, then what happens? This will yield to this will not at all yield to any profit in future. Why? Because in long run they have to see how much amount of total cost is there. If they are ignoring this fixed cost, it is very difficult for them. The next one is not suitable to all industries. This is one more limitation of marginal costing, because it is not effective in all types of industries. Say for example, in capital intensive industries where fixed costs like depreciation is more, here if fixed costs are ignored, proper results cannot be ascertained at all. With the increase of automation in the organization, the scope of costing is decreasing. The one more limitation is fluctuations in profits. Marginal costing technique cannot be applied in industries where there is a large stock of work in progress, as fixed cost, that is fixed overheads, are not included in the value of stock. Firm will get losses in some years. This results in wide fluctuation in profits. This is also a limitation. One more limitation if we see, that is difficulty in the fixation of price. Under marginal costing, selling price is fixed. On what basis? On the basis of contribution. In case of cost plus contract, it is very difficult to fix a price. Then it becomes very difficult in taking decisions in this type of cases. Another limitation is that under or over absorption. Now we see here, application of variable overheads depends on what? On estimate and not on actual. As such, there may be under or over absorption. Now, the next limitation is that full claim cannot be claimed at all. What is this actually? Because big organizations, if they are following this marginal costing system, all cost will be valued at marginal cost. What is marginal cost? What we said is that marginal cost takes into consideration only variable cost. So what happens if suppose there is any fire in the organization? Suppose. Then if we are going and claiming for the loss in an insurance company, what happens? If we see the reports all together, it shows only variable cost and that's all. It will not show any fixed cost. Then what happens? We will be claiming not full amount but a little bit of amount from that. So this is one more loss for the organization, because usually in bigger organization what happens, they include in the total cost both fixed as well as variable cost. Then if we go to the insurance companies, the claim, for the claim we can get full claim, that is total amount we can get it back. Here the main disadvantage is that all costs are maintained as per the marginal costing system. In marginal costing system, what we have learnt already, that means they are valuing at only variable expenses. They are taking into consideration only variable expenditure that we have incurred for production of that particular product. So what happens? The claim will only go for these variable expenses and not to the full cost. So the insurance companies will give us only the variable cost of that particular product basing on the records. This is one more loss for the company. Another limitation is that it is not suitable for external reporting. Usually what we see is that this costing system is meant only for the internal taking decisions by the management. Here, if we are giving the same, that is for reporting this same technique, that is the marginal costing technique, to the tax authorities, they will not take it as a granted, because they will not at all consider this as a taxable profit. Because the cost system, for income tax purposes, they have to show all in a proper way. They will not consider this marginal costing system at all. So if we are following the marginal costing system, then again it is a waste exercise. Again it becomes an additional burden for the management to ask the cost accounting department to show two types of accounting system. One including the total cost, the other one without this fixed cost, only taking variable cost into consideration. That's why this is not at all suitable for external reporting, especially for the tax authorities, where marginal cost is not considered to be a taxable profit. The next one is significance is lost. In capital intensive industries, fixed cost occupy major portion in the total cost. That means where fixed costs are more, in such type of industries, the main significance of it is lost, because in marginal costing we cover only variable cost. As such, it loses its significance in capital intensive industries. This is the main limitation of marginal costing, where it is not suitable to these type of industries. The next one is full information is not given at all. Marginal costing does not explain the reasons for increase in production or sales. How much of increase is there, how much of increase in sales is there, what are the main reasons, all these things, the reasons, full information is not at all given by this marginal costing. And one more thing, we have to see absorption costing and marginal costing. Here, first of all, what is the main meaning, that is the inner meaning of absorption costing? It is nothing but, it is also known as full costing or total costing. It is a technique of cost ascertainment under which all costs, both variable and fixed, are charged to the cost units or cost centers to ultimately being absorbed by the same. That means in absorption costing, all costs are taken into consideration. both fixed and the variable cost. In marginal costing, only variable costs are charged to production. In short, absorption costing, all costs are identified with the manufacturing of the particular product. If we see the differences between absorption costing and the marginal costing, first one is main difference is in absorption costing both fixed and variable are charged to that particular product, whereas in marginal costing only variable costs are charged to products. And what about the fixed cost? Here the fixed costs are transferred to profit and loss account. The second difference is that difference between sales and total cost is profit here in absorption costing, whereas in marginal costing difference between sales and marginal cost is contribution, and the difference between contribution and fixed cost is profit or loss. If we get in plus, it is profit. If we are getting in the minus, we will be getting losses here. So next one, it does not reveal the cost volume profit relationship at all in absorption costing. But whereas if we see in marginal costing, cost, volume and profit relation is an important part of marginal costing. Next difference, in absorption costing, closing stock of work in progress and finished goods is valued at cost of production, which is inclusive of fixed cost. In marginal cost, closing stock of work in progress and finished goods is valued at marginal cost, that is variable cost only. The next difference is that in marginal costing, managerial decision making is based upon profit, which is excess of sales over total cost, whereas here in marginal costing, managerial decisions are guided by contribution, which is the excess of sales value over variable cost. This is the main difference. One more thing, in absorption costing, costs are classified according to functional basis, that is such as production cost, office and administration cost, selling and distribution cost. Whereas in marginal costing, costs are classified according to the behavioral cost, that is fixed and variable. The last difference is in absorption costing, arbitrary apportionment of fixed cost over the products results in under or over absorption of such cost. Here in marginal costing, it excludes fixed cost. The question of under or over absorption of fixed cost does not arise at all. So these are the main differences between absorption costing and marginal costing. Today we have learned what do you mean by marginal costing, what are the main assumptions we take in the marginal costing, advantages of marginal costing, limitations of marginal costing, and their importance to the management in taking various important decisions, etc. I think you understand this concept of marginal costing. Thank you very much.